Hi, I am Leslie. I am a school counselor and therapist. So this may be a new place to have seen me. Yeah, I'm in a hotel room at a conference that I'm actually speaking at on a collaborative classroom. So if you went to that conference, hi. And I wanted to talk today about fear and art. Don't you know that I have seen so many people be afraid to do anything related to art because they think that they are bad at it. They've never learned drawing skills. They never had any kind of formal education in it. And they think that that's what they have to have in order to do art. So I wanted to talk to you today about how to stop letting fear get in your way of actually creating art and practicing art, because I use it for my own self-care and I feel so deeply and strongly about that. I think when I've been reading and researching more and more about it and the creative aspects of art and the problem-solving skills that it involves, and the whole world is this visual space that we live in. And when we see it and touch it and interact with it, all of that are the things that are around us. And art is that kind of gap between creating this reality and seeing what we see in the world. I hope that makes sense. I'm rambling here. Okay. Have you ever had this blank canvas and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna put on this canvas? And sometimes we can be full of ideas and don't know which one to actually choose. Have you ever felt stuck? Like you're telling yourself, what if I mess up? I'm not gonna be able to draw this right. I see this shape. It doesn't look the same way when I'm drawing it. How can this work? What if it's not good enough? It's a feeling that we've all had. And that fear is a thing that truly can hold us back when we actually want to just sit down and create.
But what if the solution isn't more perfection or skill? What if the real answer is curiosity? That's why I created this painting of an otter. Otters are natural, curious creatures. They don't worry about the perfect dive or whether the fish will bite. They simply explore and play, no hesitation. They're not afraid to make mistakes because they know there's joy in the journey, not just the destination.
Imagine if you brought that same curiosity to your art. Instead of letting fear guide you, you just let play take over. And today I'm gonna guide you through how to do just that. Step one is tapping into that curiosity you had as a child. Remember when you used to create just for the sake of exploring? No expectations, no limits. It's hard to remember when I was a child doing art and playing around. I think the thing I remember most about being a child in art was I didn't have the exposure that I wish I would have had. And by the time I got to high school, I had taken a middle school art class and a high school art class. And the most that I was really doing was making these little signs for our folders that was like, have a great day. And we would doodle and make little shapes on them and pass them out to our friends, and everybody would slip it into their notebook. Did you ever have that experience? It was just about seeing what would happen if you made these different lines and different marks and created different shapes together. I think even to this day, one of the foundational skills that I enjoy practicing is creating mandala art, because to me it's just so simple and a repetition over and over again. And I think about it now, I wish I could go outside and show you. I'm actually at Orange Beach and I would love to go play in the sand and create art in the sand. Last time I went to a beach, I sat there and just made different mandalas in the sand. It was so much fun. But we're having a cold thing, and I don't even know if you can hear the wind, but it is so strong. The wind is blowing so terrible. And in Orange Beach, having lows like in the 30s, yeah, it's very unusual. So think back to that moment when you were a child. What was your exposure to art? What are some memories that you have in your childhood? I would love to hear about them. You can make a comment below. What is one of your first experiences with art? Do you remember how fun it felt? I just remember even just in my art classes creating something and being like, wow, I did this. Like, this came out of me. And I just found that incredibly rewarding. Just reconnect with that moment. And you can even close your eyes and just think about it. And remind yourself of what it felt like as a child. So step 2 is to ask the right questions. Now that you have that spark of curiosity again, let's dive into how that can bring that into your creative process. So instead of focusing on, is your work going to be good enough? Try asking questions like, I wonder what would happen if I did this. What would happen if I mixed these two colors together? How can I make this more fun and playful? What can I discover if I let go of perfection? These questions take the pressure off. They shift the focus to the process. They invite you to explore rather than perform. And that's how curiosity leads you to creativity. Next, we have step 3, play and experiment. Now that we have these 3 questions out of the way, now it's time for us to get started to experiment. You're not here to create something perfect. You're here to experiment and discover and to just enjoy the process. Pick up your materials and just start playing. Don't worry about making mistakes. Every mistake is just a step to a new discovery. Want to make paintings with bold colors or large strokes or details? Go for it. The beauty is there's no right or wrong way to explore. And remember, just like an otter, you're looking for joy in the process. So just let yourself have fun. Step 4 is to use positive self-talk. As a counselor and play therapist, this is what I teach kids. Using that positive self-talk is going to be so important for you to get past that fear. And even when you keep playing, that fear can still creep in. It might whisper to you, this is not good enough. Or it might say, this is not how it's supposed to look. And that's where positive self-talk comes in. Whenever you feel that fear, you can counteract it with these affirmations. My creativity is valuable no matter the outcome. Mistakes are just opportunities to learn. The more I explore, the more I will discover. Curiosity leads to growth, and growth leads to confidence. Step 5 is to reflect and to share your journey. Now that I've allowed myself to play around without judgment, it's time for the next step, reflection. Reflection is key to understanding your growth and embracing the discoveries you made throughout the process. And throughout this process, I learned that I didn't add enough pink in with my yellow and blending those together. The other thing that I learned was I really should have created my own purples and created 3 different versions of purples instead of just using what was in there. And also, I should have allowed the paint to dry before painting over it, because then it spread more, which is what you want in some cases, but in this particular case, that wasn't the look that I was actually working on going for. So you take a moment and think about what surprised you with it. Maybe you thought something wouldn't work and it turned out amazing. Maybe you went outside your comfort zone and found a new technique that you loved. Or perhaps you didn't get the results you expected, like mine. But in the process, you learned something new about yourself and your art. Like, maybe I need to be a little bit more patient. Whatever it is, I want you to honor that discovery. Reflection isn't just looking at the final product. It's about looking how far you've come in the process. Like this one I just painted yesterday, or my one with circles. How I've allowed myself to grow. How have you allowed yourself to grow? And what new things that you uncover along the way. So I want you to take a moment and reflect right now. If you haven't commented already, comment something that you can reflect on. How have you grown with your art? What are some new discoveries that you are thinking about or have made through your own art creation? And here's some questions that can guide you. What did I learn in my own creative process today? What did I enjoy most about this process? What part of my art would I like to explore more next time? What do I feel proud of in my creation, even if it didn't turn out exactly as I expected? I think for me, a lot of times it means that I take a step back from my art for a day or 2 days and then come back to look at it, and then I can really reflect and appreciate what I've done. So take a few minutes to reflect, either by journaling or sitting down and processing your thoughts. This will give you a sense of accomplishment and how far you've come. And step number 6 is to celebrate and share your work. Once you've reflected on your journey, it's time to share. Sharing is not only an opportunity to celebrate what you've created, but it also is a way for you to connect with others who are on their journey as well. Whether you choose to share with friends or family or even online, it's a powerful way to validate your process and celebrate your progress. I'd love to see what you're creating today. When you share your work, it's not about how perfect it is. It's about showing up, being curious, and having fun with the process. Remember, the beauty of art is not in the final product, but in the exploration and the play. It happens along the way. You know, it's the same kind of things about our journey in life. If we are so focused on the end result, you're not appreciating the journey that it took to actually get there. So remember, today is just the beginning. Curiosity as your superpower, and you're already learning how to use it to free yourself from the limitations that fear imposes. Keep asking questions, keep playing, and keep reflecting, and keep sharing your progress. I can't wait to see how curiosity forms your art. Let's keep exploring together and go master your next moment.